So, I've been wondering, has career mode on FIFA actually changed at all over the past 5 years? Well, we're about to find out. We start off at FIFA 14, a freshly faced Radamel Falcao for that player career. We all know how that move turned out, maybe not his best career choice. You can see here, the team selection, it does actually look relatively similar to what you guys probably remember from this year, and I'm not going to lie, it is pretty similar. It sets out the budgets, everything you expect. The career settings as well, pretty standard stuff. It is going to stay consistent over time. However, next up is something probably a lot of you didn't remember, but it's a little bit different. We have the manager preferences and then this.
Welcome to EA Sports FIFA 14, where we've introduced a brand new way of playing your career as a manager, thanks to the global transfer network. Now you can manage a staff of scouts and send them to different countries around the world to search for talent. Specify the type of player you're looking for by giving a range of criteria to your scouting network based on your team's needs. Once instructions are given to each scout, they look in their different regions for players that match any of your criteria. Once you receive preliminary reports from your scouts, you can browse the players found for you. The initial information just gives you a hint on the player's strengths. So if you are interested in finding more about a player, you will need to ask your staff to scout him further.
I know it does seem a long time ago, but this game was actually the introduction of the global scouting network. And some of you might be a little bit confused, but no, it actually hasn't really changed at all up to FIFA 19. We will carry on looking through that as we go through the years, but from the start, you could probably actually basically recognise every single menu on this career mode from FIFA 14 straight through to FIFA 19, and it doesn't really look like there's much difference at all, other than basically a reskin. I think that is something that will be quite common through every iteration of the FIFA career mode as we move along in this video, but what can you do? That was FIFA 14. Next up, we move on to FIFA 15. Moving onwards, we find ourselves here on the FIFA 15 menus, and you will notice not much looks too different. We decided to go for a kind of black and yellow colour scheme this year. This team selection menu has stayed very consistent, same with the settings as you would expect, but we still kind of have this panelled look that we've gone for a decent amount of time now. All of these lists are exactly the same, the player lists. Everything really, from what I can see, is very similar to the previous title, which is FIFA 14. One thing I did notice, however, the menus actually were a lot clearer on this game. I don't know why, when you looked at FIFA 14 it was actually a bit pixely, but on here, very clear. The menus actually were a lot quicker, so maybe loading times and stuff like that were better. But apart from that, I honestly do think that FIFA 15 career mode is more or less an exact copy of FIFA 14. And I guess the only real way to introduce a new game and to make it look a little bit different, once again, is to introduce a brand new colour palette to the game. We've moved away from the yellows and blacks of this world onto kind of the light blue colour. It looks a bit more professional, I'll say, a bit more like the actual Premiership colours. So it did make sense, but again, not too many changes with these initial menus. This is the first big change, however. We have pre-season tournaments, as we all know, a choice of 3 tournaments. You get a little bit of extra money depending on how far you go through the competition, and then that can boost your transfer budgets. It's a very nice feature. It wasn't really anything that there ever was before. I don't even know if there were friendlies before at the start of the season. I think you just went straight into the game, but that was obviously brought into the game. Also, the other big feature that came in on this year was training. This was the ability, as we all know, to train your players. You could train your youngsters and really develop them a lot quicker than maybe what they would naturally, or instead kind of increase the longevity, the lifeline of some of your older players, and hopefully just extend their career by a little bit longer. I don't really need to explain the rest of training. You guys know it from the most recent games, so that's that for FIFA 16. FIFA 17 marked the return of the classic black and yellow colour scheme from FIFA 15. And this game actually did have a few changes, surprise, surprise. You can already see bold expectations, that's something new, we'll get onto that in a bit. And also there's more of a club description, more information on the budgets, the kits, just generally more information to start off the game to give you a bit of a background for your teams. You'll also notice that managers magically appeared on the touchlines this year. This was kind of an all-round game thing, so I guess it was kind of easy to transfer your manager face onto someone on the touchline in career mode. So not something specifically designed for the game, but obviously it's a nice feature to have because you can see yourself kind of on the touchline. Pre-season tournaments still there. Nothing really new to do with that. We'll look at the board expectations now. As you know, a lot of this stuff is similar to FIFA 19 that we'll get around to. You have youth development, brand exposure, continental success, domestic success, and everything like that. Basically, depending on how you do, you'll see your manager rating up at the top of the screen. It will kind of vary. So, not really a lot that's brand new. Board expectations, managers on the touchline. But yeah, in terms of anything that's new in this career mode, it's only really the board expectations, because like I said, the managers on the touchline was a thing that was kind of designed for the whole entire game, ultimate team, everything like that. So again, it seems like this has been a reskin. We've gone back to an old colour scheme from FIFA 15, and there isn't really much else that I can enlighten you on. Finally, we are very close to being up to date. FIFA 18, we're nearly there, the penultimate title out so far. Again, all of this stuff off the start, very similar. It's been like that for a few years now. I think there may be a few differences here in the team selection screen. Maybe a slightly different description on the team. However, I do doubt it. It does look relatively similar, except for a kind of reskin. The faces of the managers, I believe, maybe 75% are the same as the year before. I haven't checked completely, so it may actually be the exact same set of faces. It would be nice if maybe you could customize it or something like that, but we still haven't seen that feature as of yet. So not too much so far. However, negotiation history has vanished from the game, and we now have the transfer hub. I was a bit confused at the start because I tried to add players to a shortlist and then I couldn't really find it. But the transfer hub, I think it was an all-round good addition to the game. The main kind of area where you can approach and sell your players as well. With that happening, this was the introduction of basically player meetings. As we all know, you can go and actually see the manager that you're negotiating with, see the player that you're in contract negotiations with as well, and kind of strike out a deal. This is something that we haven't seen anything close to for years in the game, so obviously when it first came around, I'll say it's kind of revolutionary. In terms of FIFA, this was one of the biggest developments that they've had in a long time. So the transfer meetings, yes, you will see from the screen. Didn't always work out. Petr with his hat still on, but more or less that was it for FIFA 18, I'm afraid. And somehow finally we are fully up to date. FIFA 19, all of you guys will know about this if you actually kept on playing career mode. The menus, pretty similar again, I will not lie. A slightly different colour scheme, reskin. The manager faces are the same as last year. I can confirm that. There is actually no change at all. So this menu so far, everything that we've seen has been completely consistent with the game. And when we go to think about everything else in the game, again, not too much. You can add the players from the journey into this. I guess it's a nice little feature, but you'll notice there, European competitions. That really was the big thing this year, which kind of took away from, I feel, any further development in the game altogether. However, I will cover that a little bit more in a second. You will notice at the top we have game plans. This is another feature similar to something introduced a few years ago, where it isn't actually something specifically designed for career mode. It's just a feature that has been added in, but really the addition of it was designed for Ultimate Team, so you do kind of question, has anything specifically been put into career mode this year? I obviously said about Champions League and Europa League, but again, that's not something that is specifically for career mode. It's a whole game thing, and understandably it is a very big element to have in the game because they've been trying for a very long time. PES have always had the rights for it, but still, realistically this year there were actually no new additions, and it is quite disappointing when you think about it. Now, when we look at FIFA 20, what is to come? You can see the end of July we will be getting some information on career mode. I'm hoping for an absolutely massive revamp this year because you can see from 5 years of gameplay, the last 5 years, there hasn't really been anything. Global Transfer Network came in right at the start and that stayed consistent. We've seen some managers on the touchlines, but again, has that really impressed us in terms of gameplay? Not really. The Champions League this year kind of just allowed us to get a reskin on those competitions, but if you're playing with a small team, realistically you're not going to see it anyway, so that's not too much. And then when you look at features like board expectations, manager rating, pre-season tournaments, they just seem like little features. So what can I say? It's not looking great. The outlook is not great for the past 5 years. All I can say is hopefully it's been such a long time without change, we will see something coming up now. And yeah, let me know what you think, because I don't really know what to say. It hasn't been great. Not much has changed in the past 5 years of career mode. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I will see you all on the next video.